welcome to Unit 2. We are diving right into prime and composite numbers today. So let's write prime and composite numbers. Page 12. Okay, let's write our objective for today. I can identify prime and composite numbers. Okay, before we get started trying to decide if a number is prime or composite, there's one word that I want us to go over, and that is the word factors. Now, this word is probably super familiar to you, but I just want to go over it. Now, factors are numbers that are multiplied together to create a product. So here's an example of factors. 2 times 7 equals 14. 2 and 7 are factors of 14 because when you multiply them together, they equal 14. So 2 is a factor, 7 is a factor, and 14 is our product. So 2 and 7 are factors of 14 because when they are multiplied, they give you the product. Okay, let's define prime and composite. Prime numbers are numbers that have... Okay, it looks like it cut out a little, but all I did was finish up the prime definition. Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, one and itself. For example, the number 7. 1 times 7 equals 7. We know this. We also know that nothing else, when multiplied together, gives you 7. The only two factors that come together and give you 7 are 1 and 7. For this reason, it is a prime number. Let's look at composite numbers. Composite numbers are numbers that have only, or that have, not really only, have two or more factors, such as, let's see, the number 6. We know that 1 times 6 gives us 6. We also know that 3 times 2 gives us 6. For this reason, 6 is a composite number because it has two or more factors that give you 6. 1 times 6 gives you 6, and 3 times 2 gives you 6. For this reason, it's a composite because it has two or more. So let's look at an example. Let's say they give you the number 15, and they have the directions as follows. List all factors and decide if it's prime or composite. And they give you the number 15. Here is what you can do to determine if it's prime or composite. Step 1. List out all the factors using there's a few different ways you can list out the factors. You can use the rainbow method, which I'll show you, or you might have already used. You can use a T-chart or an array. Whatever works for you in your math brain, do that. Pick a way that you're going to list out factors, master it, and use it. Okay? Step 2 is decide if it's prime. So prime is only 2 factors, or composite, which is 2 or more. Okay? So let's look at 15. Here are a few different ways that you can do it. Let's do the T-chart first. So to list out the factors, you need to know your multiplication facts. This is super, super important. So if you're still struggling on your multiplication facts, this is where you really need to start studying and getting them mastered down so that they're just in your head. So when we think of 15, we know that 1 times 15 is 15. We also know that 3 times 5 is 15. So right away, you know that 15 is composite because it has 2 or more factors. It has 4 factors. So you could do the T-chart. This is what we call the T-chart method. So you could show me that way. You can also show me using a rainbow. So how we do a rainbow is we have our number, and then we start listing it out. So we have 1 times 15. So by doing my rainbow, I'm saying that 1 times 15 gives me 15. I also know that 3 times 5 gives me 15. So that's a way to show me. This is the rainbow method. Okay? This also tells me that it has 2 or more factors. The other way you could show me or to determine if it's a prime or composite is to use an array. So you could draw out an array. You could do 1 by 15. So 1 times 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And you could do 1 by 15, and then do another array, 3 by 5. So you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And this would show me 3 by 5. So we call this the array model. Whatever works for you works for me. Okay, so you can do a T-chart, a rainbow, or an array. Either way shows you that 15 is a composite because it has more than 2 factors. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. Let's do the number. This will be our second example. Let's do 23. So our number is 23. And they want us to list all factors and decide if it's prime or composite. So let's decide. 23, I'm thinking of factors of 23. So first I'm going to make a T-chart. I want you to do all 3 with me and on our examples. And then when you go finish up your homework for tonight, down here you can do the strategy that works for you. But I want you to do all 3 with me up here. So we know that 1 times 23 gives me 23. But there aren't any other factors. Nothing else when combined gives you 23. So right away, we know that 23 is a prime number because it only has 2 factors, 1 and 23. we could do the rainbow method. 1 and 20. Oop, that's not 23. 1 and 23. That's it. Could also do the array. 1 by, gonna have to make it kind of long. 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22. Okay, didn't need to make it as long as I thought. So you can also do 1 by 23. All of these show that 23 equals a prime number. Okay, here are the ones that I want you to work on tonight. I'm going to give you 2. Okay, class, here are the 2 numbers I want you to work out. You have 42 and 23. I want you to list out all the factors using whatever strategy you want. You can do the T-chart, the rainbow, or the array. Once you've done that, you can decide, is it prime or composite? So do 42 and 23. Okay, see you tomorrow.